It's very common for people to throw around the term project in the workplace. People will refer to just about anything they work on as a project, but that's not always accurate. Tasks or jobs that occur on a daily basis indefinitely aren't projects, like taking out the trash or refilling the copier with paper. So what is a project? At its heart, a project is a vehicle that companies use to achieve their strategic goals. A project is a temporary endeavor undertaken to create a unique product. A project proceeds through a project management team. Now, as the project goes on and more information is learned, that information is incorporated into the project in order to clarify or improve the project plan. A project is distinguished from the operational activities of a company by the fact that it is both temporary and
The inputs for the Develop Project Management Plan process are the project charter, outputs from the project planning process, contracts, enterprise environmental factors, and organizational assets. The project charter provides high-level details in regard to project requirements. All assets are fully vetted. This section describes the inputs in a nutshell. Details within contract materials such as statement of work schedules, contingencies, and dependencies.
If you are new to project management and you have not yet earned a PMI certification, then you'll be looking to earn contact hours. PMI requires that any individual looking to sit for the PMP certification must first go through 35 hours of specific project management training, what they are referring to as a contact hour. Our project management training series meets this requirement. Upon completion of your contact hour requirement, and once you have met the other PMP certification eligibility requirements, which can be found by going to www.pmi.org, you can click the Certifications menu option and select Apply Now to begin the application process. PMI has numerous project management certifications which you can apply for and earn. Our project management training series
There are three outputs that are the product of the estimate cost process. The first output is activity cost estimates. Activity cost estimates are assessments of potential costs needed to deliver a project. While estimates can be presented in summary form or with specific details, costs are estimated for all resources applicable to the activity. Costs such as raw materials, labor, equipment, professional services, and even allowances for inflation for projects with long duration and contingency planning are all in scope. Indirect costs should be incorporated at the activity level. Activity cost estimates break the project's cost down to the activity level, which provides for greater degrees of reliability and accuracy of the estimate. Activity costs consider the costs associated with completing specific activities identified within a project's work breakdown structure. Activity cost estimating requires documentation that details how the estimate was determined. Analogous or parametric estimating are the typical tools used to document this level of detail. Parametric estimates are calculated by providing a unit cost extrapolated over a period of time or quantity of units. Parametric estimates provide for greater degrees of accuracy and therefore enhance the confidence level of the project estimates. Depending upon the stage of the project, certain activities may be defined more precisely than others and therefore provide high degrees of confidence as compared to activities that may have less detailed provided at a point in time. Artifacts pertaining to activity cost estimates should be provided and revised throughout the project lifecycle as progressive elaboration provides for greater levels of detail and therefore higher degrees of precision. In essence, a greater amount of information available for an activity, the higher the level of confidence, and a greater degree of accuracy within the estimate will be realized. Upon completion of activity cost estimates for all of the project activities, those estimates can be accumulated to deliver an overall project estimate. Basis of estimates equates to the amount and type of detail supporting a cost estimate. The supporting documentation should deliver concise detail in regard to how an estimate was derived. Supporting details should demonstrate how the estimate was developed, provide documentation in regard to all assumptions made supporting the estimate, detail all known constraints related to project activities, and indicate the range of potential estimates the cost is expected to be delivered between. Finally, an indication of the degree of confidence within the final estimate is provided so stakeholders can understand the expected reliability inherent estimation process. Let's take a look at an example of basis of estimates that can be used within the business setting. Preparing an accurate basis of estimates permits companies to apply fixed and variable costs uniformly. A basis of estimates can help the company determine profitability based upon individual unit costs. The basis of estimates can also permit you to bid more competitively based upon greater visualization of profitability. Think about how strong a tool like this can be in regard to analyzing opportunities. If you can arrive at a unit cost, something you're expected to deliver, and the profitability based upon the price offering is not sufficient for you to perform the task, you may opt to decline participation. Had you not performed this exercise, you may have ended up delivering a project at a loss. A basis of estimate can also help you identify where particular unit costs or cost components need to be addressed or be reduced in order to optimize profitability. Let's try an example. Consider a project that is expected to deliver a device that has a unit cost of $10. Your first step will be to add an annual overhead cost that you cannot apply directly to the product. Costs such as utilities, building depreciation, salaries, advertising, office supplies, etc. Assume that you've consolidated all these costs and divided them among the number of units you anticipate to produce and arrived at a unit overhead cost of $2. The new product cost is $12. Your next step will be to calculate resource hours. Typically, the standard number for a year's worth of resource hours equates to 2,080. That figure equates to 8 hours a day times 5 days a week times 52 weeks a year. It does not take vacation or sick time into consideration. In the event that you do not use a typical work week, calculate the resource hours for one employee and then extrapolate that number by the number of employees. For example, if a process requires 5 employees over a full year to run, it would require 10,400 hours of work. Suppose you paid each worker $10 per hour, your labor cost would be $104,000. But wait, we said earlier that this figure did not factor in holidays or sick days or time away. So you may want to add an indirect expense to that figure to accommodate for those activities. Let's use 30% as the figure. 30% of $104,000 equals $31,200. Your adjusted labor expense would then be $135,200, which would be the figure that you would add to your project estimates for labor on an annual basis. If the project is less than 1 year, divide that number. Again, risks are identified throughout development of the work breakdown structure, project schedule. They are recorded into the project risk log. The risk log will provide line item details pertaining to project activities and relevant risks. Within those details are an identification number that correlates to the work breakdown structure and project schedule. There will also be the name of the work package along with particular activities with inherent risks. A brief description of the risk will be recorded along with probability and impact